back to my channel. It's Ali, your favorite eccentric SLO-mad. It's been maybe a week, a little over a week since I came to you live before, sharing with you a little bit of the place I was staying at. I have since moved to a much smaller establishment. And today I am going to give you my personal breakdown of which is better, Johannesburg or Cape Town. So if you guys want to stick around for what I've got to say, please click the subscribe button, the like button, the notification bell. Leave me a comment. Tell me where you're watching from. But this is what we are going to be talking about today, you guys. And before we get started, I'm going to actually walk you out and let you see where I am now. I am living currently, I just moved in here yesterday. So the week before last week, I was in the gardens area. Y'all can look it up. Now I am literally in CBD. I'm in the heart, like right next door. CBD District 6. I might be like more District 6. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to show y'all where I am. Give you guys not a tour of the building. I'll give you a tour of my room. Because why not? You're going to see it anyway. You know, start the trend of letting you guys see. So this is my little humble abode. Yes, I actually have a kitchenette. Boom, shakalaka, shakalaka, little work area. Excuse the mess. Got a great TV. I got stuff everywhere. AC, nice fan, nice clean upgraded bathroom situation. You see, this is like all like the real deal. Ain't no sprucing up, because I just hit the live button, didn't even think about it. So here we are. This room has a nice closet space. You know, boom, boom. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Kind of situation. I got a little baby fridge, but it does the do. Cool garbage can situation. Y'all see that? That is so dope. Who'd have thunk it? You know, decently stocked for a apartment hotel kind of situation. Let me get my key. But again, you guys, I'm going to be talking to you about my thoughts around which place is better, Johannesburg or Cape Town. So stay tuned. But I'm going to take y'all outside right quick. Hold on. Let me flip it. One of the cool things that I actually like, let's see. They locked the door. We did. Okay, well, they locked it, so I can't go out, which kind of sucks. But anyway, that's a public balcony, and you can go outside and sit. I don't know if they lock it. All right, so I'm gonna have to show y'all from my window. Oops. Okay. I'm gonna have to show you guys from my window. From downtown. But I get this beautiful view. Just let it fly in. Of the mountains. The park is over there that I walk through a lot. Well, I'm right here. It's a great view. It's really cool. All right. Well, since I didn't get to take you out, I'm not quite sure why that's locked, but this is going to be one of the things that is a shared, I'm going to share with you, is a shared experience that I have seen in both Johannesburg and Cape Town, and that is everything closes early during the week and on weekends, specifically on Sunday. Most places, a lot of businesses, coffee shops, stores, they don't even open on Sunday. So it has kind of like a old school European feeling in that respect. Um, but places do close early, and so even like we have 24-hour security and front desk, but like everyone else that works in the building, it closes at 4 on the weekends, or at least on Sunday. And then, but all the stores, this is just something so y'all can know, all the stores close at 7 or 8, sometimes 5. Can't remember if I did a video on the other place I was at. I don't think I did, but it was a mall. I lived upstairs from a mall, which was so convenient. I really liked it, and it's something that actually reminds me of being in Thailand, so I loved it from that perspective. But having access to, um, stores and, coffee shops and all that stuff, and I only have to step out the building if I don't want to. That's fantastic. We also have down here, we have a cafe downstairs that when it's normally open until 8 p.m., they serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner all day. Order whatever you want. And the prices are beyond reasonable. So I think I can't remember if one of my videos, not the last one, but the one before, I talked a little bit about some of the cost to be here, what it costs in South Africa, and the highest cost being, the accommodations and stuff, but how everything else is really good pricing. So downstairs in this building, I got this morning 2 hard-boiled eggs and a croissant and a coffee, and it was 60 rand, and that's $3. Can't get any worse than that. And they don't take cash. Most of the places are cashless, and that's actually really smart because it wards off, people wanting to rob a place because they know there's no money on site, right? But today we're going to talk about what I feel are the differences between Cape Town and Joburg. And I'm going to throw in a little commentary here and there about what's happening in the States and everything. So before I really jump off into my list of what I like and what I don't like. I feel like I'm gonna close the bathroom door because it's buggy. It's clean. Y'all saw it was clean, but it's kind of driving me crazy. So anyway, we see what's going on in the U.S. And it would be irresponsible to say that there's no impact around the world. It'd be irresponsible for me to say that, I don't have any concerns about, what's happening there and whether or not it impacts, those of us who are abroad, living abroad or traveling or whatever. Because what I do find is that people are always talking about Trump, Vance, politics, whatever. And I don't know if they do it out loud because they know you're American. They can kind of tell, especially if you speak, or if, it's just conversation because, I've been in a couple of public places and heard people say JD Vance. There's no mistaking JD Vance. There's no mistaking Trump, and there's no mistaking the word America. So we know what they're talking about. Or when someone says the U.S., we're pretty sure what they're talking about. And most of it is ridicule. It's not really great conversation. Hold on, you guys. I am going to make sure that the broadcast is broadcasting. It looks like it is broadcasting. Okay, fantastic. Just wanted to see how it looked online. Okay, make sure this unmuted. Okay, so yeah, so there's a lot going on, so I don't want to ignore what's happening, um, and act like, because I'm here, it doesn't matter. I think even in the last video I talked about, or I think I was going to post something, because I have a question to pose, to those who are traveling, what's the impact to you, that kind of thing. But I'll post that a little bit later. You guys can comment on that. But recently what happened at the White House, that's been the talk of the town, as well as just the myriad of EOs that are coming out. Most recent one, I think within the last day or so, is the order to remove all remove the Fair and Housing Act. you know Remove all of that language and stuff from law. And I know I'm saying it wrong, but whoever they appointed as HUD, the Home and Housing and Urban Development, I think is what it is, and regulation group in the U.S., they have pushed back on making sure, on identifying, creating balances to make sure that everyone is considered. And so they're removing that. They're calling it removing DEI, but HUD has been around for the longest. These rules and regulations have been around long before the acronym DEI. What we call actual equality and balance. It has nothing to do with actual color and things like that. It's when a disenfranchised group is not considered at all, and that includes women. It includes white women. It includes veterans. It includes physically disabled, mentally disabled, elderly people, children, women having children, all these different groups. It's and some of the numbers of who was impacted, or the largest recipients of these programs, including affirmative action AA, which is what it was before they started calling it DEI. It's basically the same exact thing, but the same group of people, the majority recipients, benefactors of that program, were not Black people. So you guys can look that up yourself if you're unaware. But that was one of the most recent changes. They are also an EO to remove every photo, video, anything like that, I guess, in the government logs around DEI. I don't know why they're so focused on this DEI thing, but ultimately just say they're removing anything that's not white. Because that's ultimately what it is. We can sugarcoat it all we want. So I'd be remiss to walk by those things as if they don't matter. So yeah, it's a lot happening, you guys. And so I say all that because I think it's important for you guys kind of to know some of the work that I'm doing here, or just in general work that I do since I've been traveling, and that is assisting people with moving abroad, considering or traveling longer term. Something that I started doing when I was in Kenya was onboarding. And I still call it the same thing, where I assist individuals or groups who want to relocate, or whatever, for whether it's a extended period of time or forever, getting you acclimated to a new place, helping you get started, creating a program for you to start moving in a space. Because y'all, for some of us to get up and leave a place and go somewhere else, it's easy, but it's a smaller percentage of us who just get up and do it, right? And it would be unfair for me excuse me, y'all, to think that everyone has the same mentality that I have, and some of the other travelers that I know, who we just get up and go. It's like a no-brainer. It's like crossing the street, because it really is. I think the most anxiety I have is missing my flight. That's literally like the bad dream I have. The only bad dream I have when I travel is I'm gonna miss my flight. And I only care about that if it's an expensive flight. And I really don't have expensive flights, you know. So, except when I go back to the States. So, but realizing that there is a lot to picking up and moving for people, especially in my age demographic and older, especially for people who have never traveled, especially for women who are, you know, newly single or without children, and their kids have graduated or getting their own lives, or they're early retiring, or you know, even couples and families, and just marginalized groups, whatever the case may be, who are realizing, okay, this is something that I want to do and I want to do more of, but I don't know where to start. You know, everybody can't just say, okay, well, I'm just going to start. And, you know, we're going to see what happens. Just go with it and see what happens. It doesn't really work that way for everyone. And so 2021, I really had this vision to start doing onboarding and assisting people with, you know, hey, if you want to meet me where I am, you know, I had a really big house when I was there, and I was welcoming people to come and visit me. And I was actually in Kenya. And I know the continent of Africa is somewhat scary for a number of us because of what we've been shown, the distance that it takes to get here, everybody thinking that it's hard to come here. But I'm going to tell you, there's so many places that we can come in on the continent, and we don't even need a visa. For example, South Africa, where I am right now, Lesotho, Eswatini, Zambia, Botswana, to name a few. Senegal, we don't need a visa. I don't think we need a visa for Kenya anymore. But anyway, those are just a few that we don't need a visa. You don't need a visa for Cabo Verde, but you do file like a registration. It's like, depending on how many days you're staying is what the cost is. Mine was like $11 for 30 days. I can go on and on, but I don't know all the places by heart. But there's a number of places that we can enter, especially that fall into like the standard like travel countries that we visit. And then once you get comfortable, you kind of can move around. So I also will be sharing with you guys a video later on in the next week or two, because I will be doing a little bit of traveling to some neighboring countries, which I'm super excited about. A couple places that I've been wanting to go to for the longest. So please stick around. Please click subscribe so you know when I go and do those things as well. But yeah, we can move around a little bit freely now. And even with that, there's concerns around how to do that, how to go places, you know, where should we go? And you guys know, even from my last video, I'm gonna be as honest as I possibly can. I'm gonna share with you as much as I possibly can, like boots on the ground, real stuff. And sometimes the things that I say may be confusing. It may be, you know, a little scary, maybe even, you know, but I don't want to sugarcoat things. I don't want to make it seem like everything is peachy all the time if it ain't. I don't want to make it seem like, you know, just go, it all work out. Because that doesn't work for everybody. And to do that is unfair to those who really want a more exact kind of you know, breakdown of what it's really like in a place. They want a more authentic kind of showing of what it's like. And I do encourage you guys to ask me specific questions. So like if I'm talking about something and I'm sharing a positive experience, and you're just like, well, I heard somewhere else, please ask. If I'm sharing a negative experience, like I was sharing last week, the dynamics between the ethnic groups and things like that from what I've experienced up to this point. And just so you guys know, I've been here over a month now. By the time I leave, it'll be closer to almost 3 months. Yeah, I'll be heading into my third month. By the time I leave, so I'm getting my 90 days worth up in this joint. So please ask me, if it's confusing, because I think as if you guys watched the last video, I did talk about actually living here, and we're working with realtors, looking at houses, looking at different areas to stay in. So that's part of the reason why I'm staying around a little longer. And you guys those who know me are probably shocked. Like, really? South Africa? You didn't say you were going to South Africa? Okay. Trust me, ask me questions. And I can start to break down even more. Click on my one-on-one, do a one-on-one session with me. Join my behind the scenes group. If I get enough people in the group new, because I haven't really been focused on that lately, but if I start getting more people in the group, we'll start having our bi-monthly calls, like our Zoom calls, where we actually have open Q&A and discuss, pick a topic and discuss those things. So we can talk about all these kinds of things. So I'm going to try to keep it as real as possible and make sure that you guys are kind of, informed as well, with what's going on. So let's get to it. If you guys are in the comments and you have been to South Africa, please let me know. Say that you have been here, which cities you visit, and if you've been to both Joburg and Cape Town, let me know what's your pick and why. I know it's a lot. Y'all feel like y'all got homework. I ain't giving you homework, but I'm interested. Myself and my friend, we're both here. She actually right now, she likes Joburg better than Cape Town. I like Cape Town better than Joburg, and we have different reasons. And so my list is really going to show you. But I think it's a fair shakedown, so to speak, of what I like in one versus, or what one offers versus what another offers. And I am open, y'all, because I have, sorry y'all, I lost connection right quick. I am more than happy and open to hear you guys share with me, you can do this stuff over in Joburg. You got this, you got this. So please let me know. But from my experience so far, let me tell you the things, Cape Town versus Joburg. So this is my list. Y'all know number one on my list is that I want a place that's walkable. I want hiking, love parks. And the simple fact that I have beaches, so we are not landlocked, makes Cape Town a win-win-win-win. Now, I'm not saying that Johannesburg, y'all, for those who don't know, that Joburg does not have any hiking or anything like that. But if you look at the city from a cursory view, you can usually see where there's parks. And there's actually one big park, because I was stationed. I was, the first night I got there, I actually stayed close to this park, but it was raining every day, so I actually didn't get to walk. But it's a huge park, but it's a park, like a basic park. They also have a botanical garden that is not really a botanical garden. And there's other parks throughout, but if you're looking like in city proper area, and around there, kind of like you would look at Cape Town and in the Western Cape area, through the Table Mountain area, it does not compare. And if I'm missing something, please someone let me know. Okay, my map must not be mapping if I'm missing anything. So hiking, having access to parks, all that kind of stuff, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful in Cape Town. Big check. The various neighborhoods, you have it in both. So I feel like even in Johannesburg, you get a more distinct breakdown of neighborhoods. Like Melville is backpacker, like young party area. Sandton is one of the more expensive areas, which I still haven't figured out yet, but I didn't drive all the way around there. So I'm kind of missing like where the, I mean, it's got some cool malls and stuff like that, but I'm, haven't seen the neighborhoods and stuff. So, can't really speak to that. Rosebank is a little more in between, but it's kind of eclectic in the restaurant style, the outdoorsy types of seating, and I don't have a name for it, but it reminds me, if you're from Dallas, it reminds me of like the Shops of Legacy kind of feel, something like that, but a little less prestigious than Dallas. And then I was in the Parkview area, so I feel like that's even more like chill space, more of a suburban kind of feel. That's where one of the huge parks is called the Zoo Park or whatever. I think there's a zoo close by. And then, of course, downtown, which in Joburg they tell you don't even go to. You can do the hop on and hop off. I didn't go downtown. We passed through it, but really didn't get to see it. And I haven't had anyone tell me that it's good to walk around. I'm currently sitting in the downtown in Cape Town, and short of walking around early morning when it's dark as a female by yourself. Otherwise, this area, it's beautiful. I've walked around here many a times, walked through the parks and walked from the last hotel apartments that I was staying at to the downtown area that I'm in right now, and it's great. So I feel like both have the neighborhood, different types of neighborhoods and stuff, but I do feel like Johannesburg has a better, like, and this might not be a good or bad thing. This might not be a good thing. It might be a bad thing for some people. Is like there's like specific areas for different types of travelers or people who live a certain way, but you find that almost anywhere you go. So I wouldn't say that's a bad thing, but it's nice to be able to kind of group yourself and find, this is my tribe, so I'm gonna go here. This is the kind of stuff I like, so I'm gonna go here. Joburg, I think, has that a little bit more catered. Yeah, we've got, the waterfront, but it's a mix. Like, you get so many different, and it's more of a touristy, like, visitation area, not even touristy. Because you see a lot of locals, a lot of people who live here that go down there, so you can't really tell, like, the people that live in that area, if I can say that. I don't know. All right, let's move to the next thing. Activities. All right, so I'm gonna start naming activities. Now, I need you guys who are in Joburg, from Joburg, been in Joburg for a longer period of time, to tell me like what types of activities you can do there. Because the one thing that I felt like when I was in Joburg and I was looking for things to do, and you can look at, how you do a search and say, hey, things to do in Joburg. The things that you're gonna find is Soweto tour, which is basically going to the area that is the, they call it slum area or whatever, but it's Mandela has a house there, and then it's where the apartheid museum is. It's also where a casino is, but it's that part of town that is still a village, and you can walk through it and that kind of thing. So you'll see the Soweto tour, or village area, the apartheid museum, a couple of other, like museums or governmental buildings, things like that. But other than that, it just didn't seem like there's much there, just in general. Like, it's one of those places where I felt like there were no high rises. There's no like really beautiful architecture to see. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. If I am missing it, please point it out, because I didn't see any of that kind of stuff. Even when you click attractions, like, you'll have like little nooks and crannies of things, but it just wasn't anything that just really stood out. It kind of gave me like the landscape of San Jose, Costa Rica. If you've ever been, you know what I'm talking about, okay? But here, I feel in Cape Town, there's like, I mean, we looked out the window, there's a huge church. There's another, like this sculpture thing right at the beginning of the park. There's the park itself and all the sculptures within, and then the buildings, the colonial style buildings around. And then there's actually a castle that isn't too far away, like a real castle grounds and everything. I'm gonna go check that out too, so you guys stay tuned because I'm gonna show you some of that as well. And that's like $2 to get in, $3 to get in. Types of events and things that they have here that I just didn't see there. Mention the hiking. This mountain is, I mean, full of things to do. There's a botanical garden. We have a real botanical garden that has tons of different little trails within. It is beautiful there. There's a botanical gardens in Joburg, and the pictures I saw is not really botanical, and maybe it's seasonal kind of thing. Maybe this is not the season for it. Don't know, but I don't think it's anything like Kirstenbosch, I think is the name of this one here. We got tobogganing, y'all. I just found a tobogganing farm thingy where you can toboggan through. They got that in Joburg. And when I say Joburg, and maybe Pretoria is considered part of, it's, you know, it's outside of Joburg, but it's an hour away, so, or 45 minutes away, so it still kind of counts. You can count that. Please add that in, because I've never been to Pretoria and thought about going as well, right? Wine trams. We're a wine country out here by Stellenbosch, and I don't know that they have anything like that in Joburg, but this is an easy thing, a 45-minute ride away, and boom, you can do a day of touring different wine vineyards. The coastal tours here. Obviously, Joburg is landlocked, so there's no coastal tours. So if you love water, they've got penguins, they've got the seals, they've got the Robben Island tour, which is a must-see. You know, all these different things all around the coast and everything they have here. So you got different boat tours, they got helicopter tours here, tons of biking. They actually have here, you can rent electric bikes, electric scooters, different things like that. I'm sure they probably have, everybody bikes anywhere, so I'm sure you can bike in Joburg as well. I just didn't see areas where it seemed a comfortable thing. Now, I will say this. When I was leaving Joburg, heading back to Cape Town, my flight was early in the morning, and there were tons of people out running on the streets that are the pedestrian streets that, you know, you walk around for the different restaurants and stuff like that. So I did see a lot of people, you know, running early in the morning. It was like 4 in the morning. I'm lying. My flight was at 8, so it was like 6 in the morning, 5:36 in the morning. And that was really refreshing. I always love to be in communities that, you know, you see people working out, because it's a little motivation that I need, and I'm not lying, I need some motivation. A couple of other things that I see here, and I wasn't there long enough, in Joburg long enough to see this, and I know they have this. So one thing that I know Joburg has that's probably maybe not more than Cape Town, but different, and that's the nightlife. So the nightlife, I think there's probably a little bit more of an urban feel to it. Although you have that here, there is a different mix from what I've seen here versus what I've heard about there. But I've heard like it's jumping in Johannesburg. So if that's what you want to experience, and you want to experience it with more like an urban feel, and like I already mentioned, the demographics are completely different there. You're going to have a larger Black community and colored community. So I'll go ahead and separate the two so people know that they break down the two here, as opposed to what you see here in Cape Town. So live music. I see live music sets here all the time, and in places that I'd be comfortable going to by myself and at night. In their markets, they have a ton of these little like market thingies where there's food courts and all of that, and then they use those spaces. They have stages for live music. There's a place that has karaoke every night, more than one place, but one in particular that I know people go to. They do salsa on Sundays. So I feel like it's easy to find the things to do here and feel comfortable going to those things. So I'm not sure if in Joburg, if the things that they have there, they're in the downtown area, which is uncomfortable to begin with because they tell you not to go to the downtown area. Or if it's in the burbs, and then if it's in the burbs, and not that they're so far away from each other, 10-15 minute drives, um, but then you kind of have to know where things are. But I know they have live music events and things like that too. One of the coffee places that I went to when I was in Parkview actually had live music. I didn't see any, but they did have a sign saying that they had live music, and it was at a black-owned coffee shop, African Choice Coffee, African something coffee. Anyway, in Parkview, check it out. So karaoke, salsa, I just feel like the types of events and the frequency of events, it doesn't have to be a weekend. There's always something going on in Cape Town. During the day, afternoons, evenings, like I said, weekends, so on and so forth. Museums and history, both places have them, but of course, I feel like Cape Town has more. There's museums and stuff in Joburg, but of course, at the Apartheid Museum, top. I haven't been to any museums here. There is an apartheid museum that you can go into if you're going to Robben Island. I didn't even go and see it because our boat was late taking off, and by the time we came back, it was closed. But there is one on the waterfront, and there's other museums here. You can look them up and see. So I feel like both places have museums. Festivals. There's festivals to the wazoo here. So I think it's Pride Month, and then it's Women's History Month and stuff like that. So there's a lot of those types of festivals going on. I call it the Hippie Festival is going on right now, and it's like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour east of Cape Town is like a 3-day, 4-day festival happening. Lots of concerts here, like at the Botanical Gardens. There's concerts in town. Like we did that sing-along thing here in Cape Town. Tickets were like $10 if you got in early, 5. So, and their prices for things are really, really reasonable here. Not sure how it is in Johannesburg because I wasn't there long enough to do any types of events. I already mentioned the Botanical Garden is beautiful here. Haven't heard the same about Joburg. Tons of coffee shops, markets galore, and I think a big part of this is just being in a space where you feel comfortable going to these places regardless of where they're located, and having access. And I feel like once you're in a certain area, when you're downtown on the east side or the west side of the mountain, you pretty much have access to quite a few things. So that's like my quick list of all the different types of things that you can find and do here in Cape Town. Now, what I do like about Johannesburg is interestingly enough, it is much cheaper to fly everywhere from Joburg. So just keep that in mind. Y'all can do some research, some searching. We're, planning some pop-ins to neighboring countries and stuff. And wow, like the cost in some instances is only about $30 difference. But in some instances, flying from Cape Town versus flying from Joburg is $150 difference, right? And a lot of times, even if you're flying from Cape Town, they're gonna stop you in Joburg. So once I saw that, I was just like, oh, well, shoot. Can do a lot of the travel basing from Johannesburg. So consider that if you're thinking about coming and visiting and you're like, okay, well, I want to go and visit some other places. I would say go to Johannesburg, stay in Johannesburg, and then from there do like your pop in and out. One other thing that Johannesburg has over Cape Town, and I don't understand this, is access to storage lockers for your luggage. And I mean an actual private secure locker that only you have information for, not a store that they put your bag on the floor and you come and get it later. Cape Town has one thing that is similar, but I don't know if you could put luggage in it. In the Garden Center Mall, they have this machine which I didn't use, and I don't know where the stuff goes, but you can um, have it hold your bags while you shop, so you don't have to like lug your stuff around. It's not even a big mall. Maybe I should go and check that out and see if they actually have luggage. Anyway, what I have found is one luggage like storage place, like a regular storage place, and they have like the small lockers. They will not let you rent a locker unless you have a South Africa bank account. You have to have like income or job. I mean, it's almost like you're applying for a visa. And the reason I know this is because I went through the process of trying to um, pay for a month of storage. The cost is double what it costs in Johannesburg, and I couldn't do it because I didn't have the credentials and the information that I needed to just rent a space. Whereas in Johannesburg, now there's different places. There's three of the storage locker company that I'm going to talk about. There are three locations in this area, but there's nothing in Cape Town proper at all. Like you have to, the closest is Belleville. And I know some people are like, well, Belleville isn't that far. No, it's not, but it's like out of the way if you're not staying in Durbanville or Belleville area. You know, it's like 25, 30 minutes east when most of the time you're going to be on this side. So they do have some flexi stores here, and that's the name of the company. But in Joburg, they're like all over the place and right inside a mall. You know, you can just go and drop your things, and the price is $14 a month for like the smallest, like the 1 meter square, you know, locker. My friend went and checked it out, seemed very secure. So I'm really surprised that you can't find something like that here in Cape Town. So Cape Town, get a flexi store over here at the waterfront. Get a flexi store somewhere in the CBD, something like that. You know, I'm telling you, with all the people that come through Cape Town alone, can't tell me that that's not something that would be a big thing. Maybe I should see if it's a franchise and open one. Huh, who knows? Um, So yeah, though that's one thing I will say that Joburg has over Cape Town. But just in terms, I kind of talked about this the last time too, but just in terms of feeling. So now we're gonna get into the emocionada, the feeling. What does it feel like for me between the two different places? From day one, um, comparing like the first 3 days compared to the first 3 days in Cape Town compared to the first 3 days in Johannesburg. Although it was raining, my last day it was not raining in Joburg, so I did get a feeling of being in the open air and all of that. But the energy, the feel, and it may be mental because I'm looking at this stellar mountain. Um, I had a less than a 5 minute walk to the beach where we were staying before, and now all I gotta do is jump in an Uber to get to the coast. Just the access to activities and being able to walk out to the street. I mean, it just, even though I wasn't staying in the city proper area, um, and there wasn't a whole lot really close to the house that we were in. It just felt good. It felt clean. It felt, the things that give me the energy that I need. Cape Town feels that way to me. I didn't get that feeling when I was in Johannesburg. Now, again, it could be because of the rain and the gloominess or whatever. But the last day, it was completely sunny and it was beautiful. We were out all day. But it still wasn't the same. But again, I was in the Rosebank area for the most part. So we went to Sandton as well to check out that area. And so yeah, you get that kind of suburban kind of feel, but I felt like there was nowhere else to go. So it was a mall, a coffee shop, a mall, a coffee shop, or your hotel or your apartment, walking around those areas, but I really didn't see anything that was kind of the welcoming outside sitting space that uh, was easily accessible, if that makes sense. So for me, I need all of those things, all this stuff. I need all of this in order to feel good. Hey, Shana, you're watching me on TV? Meaning, like, it's on your TV. Your YouTube is on your TV. What's up? Long time no talk to. I'm just giving a quick synopsis or a breakdown of which I like better, Cape Town or Johannesburg. And if you've been listening, Cape Town is winning. But y'all, I am all open to add more to this Joburg list. Okay, so if you have things and you're like, Ollie, you just missing it, you need to spend more time. I will be back there again in the next week, only for a couple of days. But I'm finding that Joburg is my transition city. It's my city to go to if I'm going to go somewhere else. Even flying out of here back to Thailand. Um, I kind of rather do it from Johannesburg, and part of the reason being is because I can get a direct flight from Johannesburg to Singapore and then an hour flight to Bangkok. Whereas if I fly from Cape Town, I'll have a stop, but it'll fly me all the way to Doha. Who doesn't love Doha? But it'll fly all the way to Doha to then fly all the way to Bangkok. So it's a longer flight for no reason. You know, it's not necessary. So just little things to keep in mind. All right, y'all. So if you have been to South Africa and you visited first, let me know that. Which city did you prefer if you've been to both? What are some of the things that you guys did? I know Table Mountain is a thing. Most people do the cable car and do the tour, the boat tours and stuff like that. They got the sunset tours and um, hop on, hop off buses, everything. You name it, they got it, right? So what did you do when you came here? What did you like? Did you go off and, do any village tours or anything like that? Is there anything here that you guys would say, Ollie, you got to do this? Oh, and there's paragliding in Cape Town. It's not something that I actually saw in Johannesburg. I don't think they have it in Joburg. But yes, there's a couple of areas around Cape Town that you can paraglide, and they paraglide right off. Well, not this side of the mountain, but they be over here. Now the mountain is just, if y'all just jumping on, that's the mountain right there. I don't know if y'all can see it. See that? That is just stellar to me, just to see that every day. And all the way around the mountain is coastal, it's coastline, different parts where you've got the Atlantic and then the Indian Ocean is on the other side. It's just amazing. It's amazing. So yeah, from that, like, all of these things I listed are things that I would take into consideration if I'm going to be in a place longer term, like quality of life things for me. And for me, I'm just, Cape Town wins. Like it feels right. And who knows? I mean, I could be here, 3-6 months, a year, and say, oh, nah, this isn't it. But I don't know that I would see the it in Joburg, right? So y'all let me know if I'm wrong. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I have actually watched some other YouTubers who started their journeys in Johannesburg and just knew that it was gonna be their thing, and they're Black American. And because I think a lot of times we go places with, okay, I want to feel like I belong, like I'm in a community, and it's blacker in Joburg. I'm just gonna say the words. It's blacker in Joburg. Is if you count population, we probably got the population here. It's just that's where you start seeing more of the villages and the disenfranchised areas like Nyanga. which is where I volunteered last week. Well, that's not what we want to see. That's not what we're looking for when we say the numbers, right? We want to see people who are robustly living and such. And you'll find more of that in Joburg. So that it wins in that category in terms of seeing your own brothers and sisters prospering. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to just see more of that. It's more evident in Johannesburg. So it wins. Joburg wins for that for certain. But I feel like if you are a person who is looking to visit a place for an extended period of time or consider a move, let's make Cape Town our home. Let's take Cape Town. You know, it's beautiful. It's worth visiting, y'all. And honest, y'all know I just keep saying this over and over again. If you knew me when you know I've said Cape Town was not on my list of places that I was, you know, number one, even considering long term, or a place that was considering visiting in the short term. It just wasn't on my hot list, you guys. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this place and all the cool things that are here that you can do. Again, I talked about in the previous video about some of the costs. I don't know if I should make this a hidden gem video for both cities or not, but one of the things that I will say I'm really fond of is the low Uber charges. I can take a 30 to 45 minute Uber ride, and of course it's based on kilometers, the distance, I get it, but it is just a hair more expensive than Thailand, um, which is fantastic. But when I compare it to the United States, it's 1/10 of the cost. So 10 minutes for a 20-kilometer ride, 10 minutes, $10 for a 20-kilometer ride here versus a 20-kilometer ride in the US, which is easily going to run you $60 or $70. It's winning here because transportation is a big thing, right? So we don't necessarily think about transportation. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna in the video, but you know, we don't really talk about transportation because many of us have cars unless you're living in a big metropolitan city like New York or something. But then you don't have a car, but you expect good public transportation. Now I got the bus here a lot. I know there's buses in Joburg as well. I didn't have that on my list. Transportation, the Uber, catching the bus, ease of buying, having a reoccurring bus ticket, bus card, it's not a pass, it's my city card, y'all, like a credit card, and you can load it. It's a reloadable card. Ease of getting that, piece of cake. Love it. I am 100% sure they have the same thing in Johannesburg, so I wouldn't say that Cape Town is better in that respect. But I don't know if they got bus stops like they have here. Like they have these fully integrated, like enclosed bus depots. They're fantastic. But being able to be in a space where you don't have to worry about transportation, you don't have to use taxis where you don't know what the cost is before you get in. I'm telling you, make this whole ease, put your mind at ease. Just in general, for me, it puts my mind at ease where I don't have to haggle with you about pricing. I don't want to go back and forth with you about how much something costs, whether or not you turn your meter on or not, whether or not you throwing in extra fees or not. I don't want to have to deal with that. I love rideshare because I don't have to deal with that. but good rideshare, because there are ride shares even on the continent, because I've been here before, and they don't necessarily utilize it the way that we're used to utilizing it. So it's just something else. But I feel like here it is exactly how you would use it in the US. There is no money exchanging hands. If there is a fee for going through a toll or something, they're not asking you for money. I did have that happen in Thailand. Whereas we were going, they were like, hey, do you mind if we take the highway instead of the route that Uber outlined for them? And this is going to be the cost. They'll either tack it on to the end of your Uber ride, which is what most do, or, in one instance, I just said, well, hey, can I just give you cash? Because I was being nice, and it was a woman to woman Uber. So I thought that was great. I think they also have that here where you can get a woman driver, which is fantastic. I haven't seen it listed the same way as it is in Thailand. Like, you literally can select you want a woman driver, um, and they service women clients. So it's very important. It's one of those things that again is often overlooked, because we have cars now, and so we're driving cars, and so we're not thinking about it, or we're thinking about taking taxis and stuff. Uh, but you're really gonna want a ride share country, a ride share community, city, because it just makes it, especially if you're in a foreign place, it makes it easier. If you're in a place that doesn't speak, or English is not the primary or secondary language, um, having rideshare is, it takes a load off. I always consider research transportation before visiting country. Yeah, Shanna, so because you've been to places. And it's the one thing, like, if you don't think about it, it can make or break you. Especially, you know, um, if you're gonna end up being somewhere, but like, you gotta be somewhere for work, or you need to be somewhere because you're with an event or whatever. Like for me, we were way kind of out in the boonies, a little, not out in the boonies, we're just up north, on the interior of the Western Cape Cove area. And it was like a 30 to 45 minute ride on the bus to the waterfront. I can get to any stop on any stop, go different. I accidentally got on the wrong bus one day, but it didn't matter because I had a pass, and I was like, okay, well, we're gonna explore over here now. They got great unlimited 1 day, 3 day, 7 day passes as well, where you can ride as much as you want all over. They also have the train here, so it's really nice. Shana, have you ever considered coming to South Africa, or have you been already? Because I'm ready to really advocate for us to consider this as an option, a movable option. I've done a complete 360 on South Africa. So if I've done a complete 360 and you want to pick my brain even more, please click the sign up, the one-on-one, or join one of my BTS groups. I think I have two of them out there. Join, and that's on my mindyourbodyandsoul.com page. You can find it, y'all. And let's talk about some real things. There's a lot happening, and a lot of people wanting to have some peace of mind, be in a space where you feel that there's community. I will say this. This is the other thing I'm gonna say to you guys. Along that thought process of having community is, and I said this in another video, but I kind of want to re-stress it, and that is the comfort that I feel or have felt with the local community, the indigenous black colored local community here. Off the chain. So since the first day, even in the neighborhood we were in, where my first experience of the European immigrant community was not so great, it has definitely 100% gotten better. So I don't know if like the little crabs in the barrel were just like out that first week or what, but I have not seen that level of disdain in the EU immigrants that are here since that first week. So I don't know, they crawled out of the woodwork and then they crawled back in, whatever. Um, but just from the local standpoint, the indigenous Black Africans that are here, oh my God, the welcoming, and it almost felt like they were like, yes, just so happy to talk to us. Let me tell y'all, everywhere I go, they be like, ooh, so play. Everywhere I go, it's like when I meet someone, people are like, what's up, Ali? And so we're going to this restaurant. And I haven't, the only other place I felt this welcoming to was in Kenya. And I wonder if a big part of it is because there is less of a language barrier because both are English speaking places. And so we can commune more, but just in general, the feeling as a whole of being able to communicate with these people and have fun and talk and you just be in a great space. It's been phenomenal. I was walking through the mall where my other apartment before I moved here the other day, and somebody was like, Ali. And I'm like, I don't know nobody here. But it was somebody I was talking to a few days before. She was like, I've been thinking about you and, all this stuff. But, I haven't experience that everywhere, and it's nice. It's nice to be places where people are like, what's up, talk to you one time, and just interested in having regular conversations and excitable and all that kind of stuff. I don't know how to really explain. I'm doing probably a piss poor job of explaining it, but it's like friends, like Cheers, where everybody knows your name. That's what it feels like here. That's what it feels like, honestly. And even the neighbors that we had in the community where, it's a more suburban community, everybody in the neighborhood was great. I'm telling you, the first couple of days, it must have been some transients, something that were in the neighborhood and being a-holes. Shani said, I haven't been to South Africa and thought I had no interest, but now after hearing so many favorable things, I'm curious. We should talk because you may have had no interest for the same reason I had no interest. I think I made 3 videos about South Africa. Check out the first one. The first one was like, I can't believe I'm in South Africa because I was not coming. I wasn't. I mean, I was going to eventually, but we trying to buy property. We looking at it, and I haven't done that in a lot of places before. And so yeah, it's serious. It's serious. Really consider it. Really consider it. Hey Shakar. I am currently in Cape Town right now. I was in Joburg a week and a half ago, maybe. I'll be going back next week. But yeah, I'm in Cape Town. Hits the mountains. See the mountains? I just moved down to the CBD yesterday. Again, y'all know I check out different locations, or those who know me know that I check out different areas, not only for myself, but so that, number one, I can be a better advocate, and nor non-advocate, whatever the case may be, but be a better and more informed advisor to, suggesting where to go, and not just on numbers and other people's blogs and stuff. I literally, boots on the ground, can tell you what it's like to be here. I can tell you whether or not you should turn left or right when you walk out the front door. The comfort and ease is going to be to turn to the right. If you comfortable, you got your good face on, and you know how to be in a space, turn to the left. We can talk more about that in other group conversations and things like that. So understanding, knowing where you are, and knowing how to move around. If you're a person who is a little intimidated easily, or you walk around and look like you're intimidated, you're gonna turn to the right, or you just gonna have an Uber that's gonna meet you outside. If you're a person who, you can move about, you know, um, yes, we went to Soweto in Johannesburg, and I actually served in Nyanga last week here. Um, I talked about that a little bit last week on my video that I did, my experience in Nyanga. Not a whole lot, but because I haven't shared any of the videos yet on here. But it was a good experience, actually. That's another thing I will say, just in general, in South Africa, I've had a much better experience with the volunteer opportunities and feeling like I am with a legit volunteer program or doing something where my efforts directly impact the people that I am intending to impact. Um, there's tons of organizations, y'all, all over this continent. And I'd be remiss not to say, be careful, because they ain't all legit. And everybody wants, um, volunteerism and all these different kinds of things, which are sometimes turnoffs for me. I like to kind of nestle my way into and be a part of smaller groups that are really narrowly focused in specific areas and doing very specific things. And a lot of that comes from seeing what happens in the States. Nope, I don't work for any NPOs. I'm not a philanthropist. I mean, I do the work. I just volunteer where I can. Don't do any volunteerism groups. I do not do any missionary groups or anything like that. I try to find the right fit. If I meet some people that are affiliated or have programs set up or things like that, and I feel good about it, it feels right, it feels like it is specifically for the people. You know, like everything is energy. So I look for those kinds of things. And one of the groups that I supported here, it's called Just a Little Helps. But yeah, I'm always open to doing more, and I feel like you learn a lot if you're in a legit group. I don't want to get into a group, and I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I'm not trying to get into a group and it's all religion. And if you know my background, you'll understand. You may go, but you have a whole religious background, and that's why I don't want to do it. I want to be in a group that's not about, I gotta change the people and I gotta make them see this and that. No, if the people need to be fed, feed the people. If the people need wells built, dig wells. If the people need houses built, build houses. If the people need plumbing, help with plumbing. I don't need to read them the Bible. I'm gonna keep my next comment. I'm gonna keep to myself. So I feel like you can be a blessing and an assistance to people without pushing any type of agenda on them. Help is help. When a dog is wobbling in the street, you don't go pull out something and try to reprimand them. I understand it's a dog and they don't speak English. I get that, but you just help. So it's the same concept. Why when it comes to people, in order to help people, we got to propagandize them in order to do it. But I ain't gonna get into all that today. But thank you for asking. I totally I appreciate all the questions. So yeah, those are my comments, my thoughts on Joburg versus Cape Town. Shakar, are you living here? Do you have a preference? Do you like one over the other? If so, why? You like them both the same for whatever reasons? Please share. Shani says, I totally agree. I just want to do the work and help. yeah, no strings attached, you know. What can I do? What can I do? And I'm gonna tell y'all, so I did some volunteer work when I was in Texas. And this is when we had all that flooding. Y'all, and I can't remember which town I was in. Close to Galveston, I think, or Houston, one of the two. But anyway, wherever it had flooded, and the way they have these valleys dug out in certain areas, like these houses, there was so much water that the repairs and stuff we were doing, the water lines were like to the roof. So I can imagine, in my mind, I'm thinking Katrina, Louisiana, and there's been other places, obviously countless other places. But it was just so weird because it's like, why do they build these places like this? But anyway, the amount of the work that we were doing to, assist, and we were just like in a neighborhood and they just, pick certain houses and we're pulling the paneling and there's just roaches and all this stuff. And then not because of the house was, the people in the house were bad. It was simply because there was so much water damage. The wood had soaked up all the water. They was living in these joints. And so you literally had to pull all this stuff off, so that they could get a fresh start and all kinds of different things. And that was it was just work. And it was like back breaking, pulling all the stuff off. Then, in some areas, in some of the houses, in some of the rooms, we were re doing the, siding and interior, putting up the drywall and, like dirty work. Like we was in it, and that's the kind of stuff like I like all of that. And I've volunteered at animal shelters, did that a lot in the States. And partially because there's so many communities that have kill shelters. And in Dallas, there are a handful of no-kill shelters. And so those are the ones that we volunteered at. And everybody has pick your own or whatever. There's a lot of animal shelter volunteer groups or opportunities in different countries because typically stray animals is a thing. You either got stray tons of cats or tons of dogs or both. And so you'll find a lot of different opportunities to do work with animals in different places. Mexico has programs where you could go and just like dog sit or, take the dogs out for walks and stuff, and they do it once a week. That was something they had in Playa del Carmen. Same thing we did in Dallas. In Antalya and in Greece, they treat their cats and their dogs just like everyday people. So let's say you're in Antalya or Istanbul, and so it's a Turkey thing, and you walk into a cafe and it's full and there's some open seats and you think you're gonna go sit, and you realize that they're occupied by furry animals and you can't kick them out. You can't move them, you can't chew them, nothing. That's where they belong. And if you try it, the entire restaurant gonna be mad at you, so don't do it. You don't have a seat. You don't have a seat. But the other thing that they do that I think is really neat is they build these, people will go out and buy, cat houses and different things like that, shelters and stuff, and build these little communities in like the parks. And then people come and just bring food and so you'll have like 20, 30 cats in the park, and you're walking through and they're just all there minding their business, and you could just come and just bring food if you want. Drop the food off, dump it in a little thingy, and they come and they get their food. People bring blankets and stuff like that. There's this area I was in, it had to be Istanbul. And anyway, before you go up the next level, like you saw all this bread and stuff on the ground. Well, so they don't throw stuff in the garbage either. They set it outside for the pets. So they're not throwing food in the garbage. And while in some instances you're like, oh my God, that's so dirty. Well, the cats eat all the roaches, and the cats eat all the mice as well, because Istanbul is one of the places that it's just like, oh my God, you don't see no bugs outside. I mean, in some instances you will see them, but for the most part you won't see them. And it's because them cats be putting in they work, you know what I'm saying? But you'll see where they'll just dump like all this bread and stuff on the ground, and it's because so that no animal goes hungry. I think that's just amazing. The stuff that we could do if we weren't just trying to, starve people and animals. Anyway, I got excited. Shikari said you prefer Durban. I want to go to Durban. I actually was just doing a little research on, popping over to Durban because I'll be back here in another week and a half. And so in between, I wanted to pop over to Durban because I hadn't really considered it. But everybody's like, oh, it's it's another coastal city. It's really nice and just different things. And so I was like, oh, well, I think kind of what you're saying. I prefer Durban. Cape Town is beautiful and comparatively safer area. Oh, okay. So Durban is considered not as safe. It has a warm Indian Ocean, humid, some good coastlines. Either way, you have to take advantage of the cheap and tasty food. Cheap and tasty food in Durban. So this is the thing. I'm plant-based. So I will tell you this. I will try some meat if it is something that is special to an area. Like we were staying in a house in Sunset Beach, Milnerton area, before I moved to the city. I don't remember if it was the chef that came and fixed something or if we got something somewhere. And my brother was like, you gotta try it. So I did try it. So I do that. I will let people know that I will try a taste of something, if it's meat or something like that. And it's special too. Like I was in Cuba. You had to try this, whatever it was. We were out and they were like, you gotta try it. So I took a bite. Bali, we actually picked the chicken, skinned the chicken, cooked the chicken. I had to taste the chicken. Probably the best chicken I had ever had. So I'm plant-based. I haven't eaten meat since 2018, but I will try something. So let me know what you mean when you say like you gotta, cheap and tasty food. Like what exactly you talking about? Like in Durban, specific types of food? Because there's the other thing I'm gonna tell you guys, that it's amazing here is how well the food is prepared and how many different areas that you can find, from Cameroonian food, South African food, East African. So like places that we went to a place inside inside Santon Mall, and it was an African restaurant, and they had like a page for East, West, South, different types of different types of foods from different ethnic groups and stuff like that, communities in Africa, not ethnic groups, but countries in Africa, and the way that they make their food. So yeah, you got cornmeal, but is it ugali? Is it fufu? Is it, and prepared different ways? It was actually really interesting. I was like, wow, how, like to be able to master all of that. And I don't know if it's mastered because, I'm not pro. I've made ugali before though. I've made ugali before. You get strong, so you gotta switch sides, get that work in. But I thought that was great, and so to be able to experience different types of food was fantastic. For the past 7 months or so, there hasn't been any power outages. Not sure how long you spent in SA, but hopefully they keep the electricity on. Past 7-8 months in SA, because we've had them. Last week we had load shedding every day. Where are you at? Are you in South Africa? In Cape Town, I'm sorry. That's what I meant to say. Where are you saying there's been no power outages? Because yeah, we definitely had load shedding here in Cape Town. And I think I was mentioning that before. The other hotel that I was at, the apartment hotel that I was at before, the power would go off in the room. The Wi-Fi never went out, which I just thought was so interesting. So obviously it's on a different grid box or whatever. And because I was in a mall, that if the power went out, you could just go downstairs. The lights were on, or they stay on all that. or I mean they're on, but it may not be like bright, because when the first day I moved there was after midnight, and the security was there. Somebody has to come and physically let you in. My Uber driver sat and waited until, somebody came to the door before they just take your bags out and just dump you outside. So I thought that was really nice. But anyway, the lights in the entire hotel were on as well, and but it wasn't load shedding that night. I didn't know about the load shedding until the next night, the impact that it would have. And so the main thing is if you don't have AC and it gets hot and you don't have your windows open, it could be a problem. But y'all, it's so windy here. Just open your windows. Just open the windows, get some fresh air. So yeah, I have experienced some load shedding. There are some places that claim no load shedding, maybe because of location, but we were in Sunset Beach too, and there was load shedding. The power was going out there as well. So just because they wealthy doesn't mean that they weren't losing power. The house that we stayed at did not have a separate generator to offload that. So when the power went out, the power went out. But it has not gone out. I'm in a building now and haven't experienced any. I don't know if we were on phase 6 of load shedding last week. So I don't know if that means it's over or not. So yeah, some of the things that are important to know. But because the Wi-Fi never went out, even if you had to work, it's great. I feel like the Wi-Fi here is another, or data packets through Vodacom or MTN, I think are really good, good price points, especially if you can catch a sale, because I found out they had a sale and I didn't take it because I was like, I didn't have my passport. But oh my gosh, yeah. So yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing your input. Please feel free to add any more to the commentary, or to the comments, about suggestions. Since you mentioned Durban, where would you suggest that I visit or consider going to? I met some ladies, like I said, I was talking about earlier, just sitting in the mall area doing my work. I could stay up in my apartment, but I love coming down and being in the open space. Like I'm up here now because I had a meeting, and the person, it's hard to hear when you're in a space where they're playing music and all that. So I came up to the room, but I don't like to be up here. I want to be in a space where I don't necessarily have to go all around toting my things, but sometimes I do. Like tomorrow, I definitely will get out, and there's a couple coffee shops up the street that I really like, and I'm actually gonna go and get just some conditioning, because I'm gonna make it to the top of that mountain. I am. I'm gonna get up there without taking the cable car. I'm gonna hike it up, not the way I went. I'm gonna do the safe route next time. But yeah, so normally I'm down in spaces and meeting new people, and I don't know where I was going with that. I was about to say something. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't important. I got off track. So anyway, you guys, let me know what you think. Let me know if y'all agree or disagree with my synopsis of the two cities, and maybe I can add Durban to the list of comparisons when I go there. Anybody been to Pretoria? Is Pretoria a cool place to visit? I know there's other things to do in Pretoria. It's only like a 45-minute or an hour ride. An hour ride from Johannesburg. So let me know if it's a place to visit or not. I'm not sure if I'll get there, but could definitely add it to my list of things to do when you're in Johannesburg. So, all right, y'all, that's gonna be my 2 cents. So much more I can talk about, but I'm trying not to go off track and try to stay focused in this area. But I appreciate you guys jumping on. If there is more y'all want to hear about, because I've got so much more, you guys, I really do. If I wasn't so anal about some of my short videos and editing and stuff like that. I would just dump a whole bunch of stuff on here, and I probably should. I have so much stuff to share, like really cool things. Um, I'm just a piss poor editor. I'm just gonna let y'all know I don't like it. I don't like it. I got an Ireland video that I've been editing for y'all for 3 months. At least 3 months, because I went there in October. And I don't know why I haven't completed it, except now most of the stuff is missing and I gotta bring it all back. But anyway, so yeah, if there's other things you guys want to know about, specific to any of the places I've been to, but specifically South Africa, including housing. Like some ladies asked me last month, December, about housing, physical houses. Oh, excuse me. Physical houses in Thailand, and I didn't get a chance to do good research on that to find some of the listings, but I do have some websites that people can look at, and I'll share that at another point in time. But I will be back in Thailand, y'all. I got another house sit, so also another opportunity to see different places if you know want to move around, but you know how costly bopping around to different places can be. House sitting is a way to offset some of those costs, right? So I will be back. The person I house sat for in December, she has a house sit coming up. I saw it. I sent her a message, and she was like, "Absolutely, Ellie, if you're gonna be here." So boom, I'll be going back to Thailand to do a house sit, and I'll stay there for a little bit. But I feel like I have found my summer winter housing place, maybe, between Thailand and South Africa. And some of you are probably like, but Ali, South Africa and Thailand are not close to each other. And actually, cost wise, it's not bad. They have, I found on Qatar a flight from no, from Johannesburg to Bangkok with one stop in Doha for $297. So it doesn't have to be that expensive, and it was literally a 13 to 16 hour because there was only a 3 hour layover. Y'all, that is phenomenal. To Doha, 3 hour layover, and then boom, right to Bangkok. So yes, it's not that bad. Okay, yeah, it's not a 6 hour flight, but still, you know what I'm saying? Don't knock it, okay? Hey, anybody gonna be in Thailand in April, let me know, because I will be back there and we can hang out, okay? All right, y'all, I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate you guys to the fullest, the utmost. Again, if you want to do some one-on-ones, you actually want to get up and figure out how to start making this life your life, hit me up in the one-on-one. My link tree has the one-on-one link where you can sign up for 40 minutes with me or longer, whatever you choose, whatever you need, and we can start getting the ball rolling, talking about what you can do to make this a reality for you. All right, you guys, so I'm here for you. I hope everything is great. Hope you guys have a fantastic Sunday and the rest of the week if I don't talk to you. And I'm going to get out of here. Y'all know the drill. Toodles and noodles. Peace and hair grease.